Oh, hello. Welcome back, future citizens. The time you have been waiting for is finally here. Part 2 of the N400 video. Now, if you have not seen part 1, I have included that in the links below in the comment section. So check that out. And if you have any other questions, as always, feel free to ask me. There are some other videos that are in production that are related to citizenship that will be posted later this month and next month. So be on the lookout. Should we get started? Let's go. So I'm separating these part 12 monster questions by category. In this case, questions 15 to 21 focus on the military and weapons. So military unit are any people that belong to the military, the Army, the Marines, the Navy, the Air Force, right? In any country. Police unit, think of cops, officers. Self-defense unit. Think about women taking self-defense classes to protect themselves, right? It's people that self-police an area. So they use force to protect themselves. Vigilante, no. Batman. I always tell my students, think of Batman. Is Batman part of the police unit? No. He works by himself. He acts like the police, but he is not. Although we love Batman, he is not a police officer. Rebel. Rebel group are people that fight against the government. A guerrilla group use weapons against the government. The militia is like a private military, but not the official army. So rebel group and guerrilla group, very, very similar. They are going against the government. We remember January 6th, the insurgents on the Capitol. Now, this is when an insurgent organization is when you use weapons against the government. So similar to before, think of like a rebel group or a guerrilla group. I have photos here for reference in case you do not remember or do not know about what happened January 6th. A lot has happened this year, so I don't blame you. Prison camp. Prison camp, we also call it a concentration camp. It is where prisoners are punished. Detention facility is where you force people to stay. Now, in the news, we have seen a lot of information about detention centers, especially the separation of children from their parents. I have a photo here for reference. Detention centers are often a very sad place to go. And there are very controversial discussions about the inhumane conditions that people are living in or forced to live in. Labor camp, labor is work. So you force people to do hard physical work for punishment, as shown in this photo above. A weapon. What is a weapon? It could be a gun, a knife, a bomb, anything that you can use to attack or protect yourself. Threaten, as shown in this terrible photo, it is to bully. You say that you're going to hurt someone. You come intently with the idea that you are going to hurt someone. Recruit is to ask to join. So as a child, I was very tall, one of the tallest, and I was recruited into a volleyball team or a basketball team because of my giant height. Enlist means you sign up. For example, I have friends and family that enlisted into the Marines, into the military. Conscript is when you force someone to join. Think of like a military draft. If you don't know what a military draft is, in the United States, let's say in the case that there is a war, the government can issue a military draft where they ask or they essentially force people to come forward to volunteer. It's not really volunteer. You're forcing them. You're putting pressure on people to join you. Part 12, again, questions 22 to 29 focus more on legal issues. Let's take a look. So, sealed, expunged, or otherwise cleared means it's taken off your record. But you still need to tell everything on your N400. Even though it may be erased from your record, the government official can still find that information. There will be a paper trail, so you need to be 100% honest. Remember, the officer is trying to see if you are a good moral person. Disclose means to tell. So maybe I disclose a secret, or I disclose something very important to you. Commit means you do something. If I commit a crime, that means I did it. I robbed the bank, or I did something bad. Assist means to help. I am trying to assist you, my future citizen, with your test. Attempt, try. If you fail the first time, try again. You have many attempts. Now, for your citizenship test, you will have up to 2 attempts. So let's try to get you to pass on your first attempt. Cited. Cited is when you are given a ticket by the police and you may be asked to come to court or pay a fine. Innocent or guilty. Charged. Charged means you are legally accused, but you still remain innocent until proven guilty. People think you did something bad, but it's not 100%. Now, if you are convicted, that is a different story. That means you are 100% guilty. Alternative sentencing is a type of punishment decided by law, but it's not prison. An example of that may be rehabilitative program. Sometimes you may hear of rehabilitation centers, especially in California, in Hollywood, where people have drug addiction problems. It is a place where you can go to help become clean and sober from drug abuse. Diversion, deferred prosecution, withheld education, deferred education. All this means is that the judge is giving you an alternative sentence, similar to the idea that they're giving you a second chance. Good behavior. Now, let's say you go to prison or jail, and then you are released on probation. Probation is a period where you must report, like in this photo, to the officer, and there are specific rules that you must follow. For example, you must regularly meet with your probation officer, and if you miss a meeting or you do not come, then you can be sent back to prison or jail. If you don't do it, you are sent back. So you must be very careful in following these rules. Parole means you are released from jail because of this good behavior. Oftentimes, you are on parole, you are released from jail because of good behavior, and then you go on probation, where it's a bit of a warning. They continue to watch you to make sure that you don't do anything bad. Question 30 has many parts because part 12 is a monster. Are you a moral person? Okay, let's talk about bad habits. A to I. A habitual drunkard. Habitual, think of habit. Drunkard, think of drunk, like someone who drinks too much alcohol or tequila. This is an alcoholic. This is a noun. It means a person that drinks too much alcohol. Prostitute. You may sell your body for money or for sex. Or sell your body or have sex for money. Procured anyone for prostitution means that you are trying to get prostitutes. Smuggled means to illegally hide or bring or carry. I joke with my students and I tell them the movie theater prices for candy and Popcorn can be very expensive, so sometimes people will smuggle chocolate or snacks in their bag or in their pockets and then enter the movie theater. But of course, in this case, for your citizenship test, it is more serious. So you can smuggle controlled substances, which include prescribed medication, or illegal drugs or narcotics, which include heroin or cocaine, illegal drugs. Polygamy. Polygamy means you are married to one or more person at the same time, which I imagine is a lot of drama. Not interested. Gambling. Think of Las Vegas. You play games for money, although many people lose money when they go to Vegas. Dependents. Children. Anyone that relies on you for financial support. Alimony. Let's say you and your husband or you and your wife are separated. Sometimes you may need to pay money to your ex-spouse, your former spouse, after a divorce. This happens a lot in Hollywood when rich people get a divorce and then they need to support their ex-partner to continue living this very luxurious lifestyle. Misrepresentation means you lied about something you did. Public benefits. This includes any kind of financial aid or any aid from the government, including food stamps and financial aid. False, fraudulent, misleading means you are telling a lie. Something is not true. In this case, this is a big problem on your N400 application. You will be denied if you lie about anything. Lie, the opposite of being honest. You are dishonest. Removed, excluded, or deported means you are forced to leave and return to your home country. Rescission means you take back or you take away something. For questions 33 to 36, they're very similar. So I want to try to break this down for you as simply as possible. This here is a picture of the original questions for number 33 to 36. I'm going to show them to you and read them aloud, and then I'm going to translate them for you to make it a little easier. So 33, have you ever been removed, excluded, or deported from the United States? 34, have you ever been ordered, removed, excluded, or deported from the United States? Very similar. 35, have you ever been placed in removal, exclusion, rescission, or deportation proceedings? And 36, are removal, exclusion, rescission, or deporting proceedings, including administrative closed proceedings, currently pending against you? Wow, that's a lot of repetition. So what are they asking? Let's take a look. 33 is essentially asking you, were you ever stopped from entering or forced to leave the United States? 34, did the government ever tell you to leave and return to your home country? 35, did the government ever start the official process to make you leave the United States? And 36, is the government trying to stop you from entering now? Question 37 to 43, military. So U.S. Armed Forces means U.S. military. Court-martialed means that you are sent to military court, not civilian court. Administratively separated is similar to being fired at your job, meaning that you are let go. You cannot work at your job anymore, but this is for the military. Discipline means you are punished. If your children don't do what you ask them to, or they lie, or they do something bad, then you need to discipline them. Alien means non-native, not a citizen. Deserted means you're abandoned or you leave without permission. This is a huge problem if you do this while you are enlisted into the military. You have a contract, and if you leave early, then you have deserted your responsibilities. Avoid. Try not to do something. Keep away from it. So maybe on weekends you avoid doing house chores like cleaning or studying or work. This is me in my life. Okay, exemption. means you don't have to do something. For example, there are certain exceptions for this test. If you are 65 and older and have lived in the United States for 20 or more years, you are exempted from the English part of the test. And in fact, you have an easier test to take. Instead of the 100, you only need to study 20. Selective service is service under armed forces for men ages 18 to 26 under the law. Everyone, all citizens are required, all men, I should specify, are required to register for selective service. In California, I believe it is a requirement for you to receive financial aid when you go to college to show proof of enlistment. Oath of allegiance is a serious promise to be loyal to the United States. Bear arms means you carry a weapon. Non-combatant. Combative is fighting. So non means no. Non-combatant services means non-fighting services. For example, you can still assist the government or the military without fighting if it goes against your religion or belief. You can be a doctor. You can work in the office. Right? There are many other duties and responsibilities needed. So that is part 12. Take a little break, take a little stretch, relax. You did great. There are some other vocabulary words that I want to review with you really quick for the remainder of the N400 application, including part 13. Penalties, which is a punishment. You're in trouble for something you are doing wrong. Authorized means you are given permission. Records, USCIS records about you. Other entities or persons, people or officials outside of the USCIS. So for example, if you have assistance from a lawyer or such for your application, then you would need to include that information in your application. An oath, serious promise under the law. Part 16, to swear and affirm and certify under penalty of perjury. Perjury is a serious problem, a serious crime. So it's to make a promise that under the law that you are telling the truth 100%. Renunciation means you give up the right to something, which often includes royalty. I don't know if you are following the news, but in Japan, the princess is actually giving up her crown to marry someone outside of the royal status. And this is her and her future husband. Or I believe they are actually already married. Part 18, allegiance means loyalty. So when people say the Pledge of Allegiance, they're saying loyalty to the United States and the U.S. flag. Abjure means you reject. You reject for example, your royal status in order to become a U.S. citizen. So thank you everyone so much for your time. I hope this video helps you just a little bit. I intend on making some other videos about just randomly reading some of the 100 questions aloud for you so that you can practice answering them in your mind or out loud. I hope you have a wonderful day, and please don't hesitate in asking me if you have any additional questions. Good luck, everyone. The United States is more than lucky to have all of you as its future citizens. Take care.